going into 2018, what I want to do is I want to be true to ourselves, true to why we homeschool, and what my girls need, and what I need. Hi everyone, welcome to Precious Years. This is Saida, and if you're new here, welcome. I am a homeschooling mommy of two girls aged 7.5 and 6.5, and in this channel I share anything and everything relating to homeschooling, working from home, mommy lifestyle, and anything else that comes in between. This is a collaboration started by Hannah at Pepper and Pine. She is a wealth of information in homeschooling. She's a veteran homeschooler. She's very crafty, and she is a Waldorf-inspired homeschooler, and her channel is truly very inspirational. So if you haven't checked out her channel, I would definitely recommend it to go and check out her channel. Also, this is a collaboration, so there's a playlist of all the other wonderful homeschooling mamas that will be sharing their resolutions and goals for the coming year. Well, I can't believe it's 2018 already. It just seems like it just kind of flew by. A lot of people might say that, you know, you don't need to make a resolution, you don't need to, but you do need to make a resolution, because a resolution is a plan. I think of it as a plan, and you can't reach a goal without a plan. Make a homeschool resolution. I think one of the first things that I do for myself is I go back and look at my previous year, because the only way you can really make resolution is if you know and answer the questions of why, how, what. So it's kind of like, why am I homeschooling? What are my reasons? What did I not like about my previous year? You know, those are questions that you ask yourself, because the only way that I personally have seen myself be able to stick to my resolution is if I ask these questions to myself for different aspects of my life. So today we're talking about homeschool resolution. Well, what I did is I went back to last year and I looked through everything, and I remembered, or I tried to recollect, and of what went right, and what were the things we loved, what were the things we didn't like. I talked to my girls and I asked them what they loved about last year and what they thought that we could improve on, or what they didn't like at all. Because those are the questions that help you come up with the answer, and those become your resolution. So I think to be able to keep a resolution, you really have to have the ability to be able to kind of critique yourself. Growing up, I didn't like to be criticized, right? But now I criticize myself, because that's constructive criticism. That's criticizing myself to make myself better. And I think nowadays there's a big trend of growth mindset, and I think that is what growth mindset is. And it's a great way for me to learn, as well as teach my girls, because life is never perfect. Life throws you so many curveballs, right? But we always have to grow, and we have to learn from our mistakes, or we have to learn from our past, because if we learn from our past, then we will not, you know, make the same mistake in the future, right? And that's our end goal. For my homeschool resolution comes from the questions I've asked. Why did I start homeschooling? I wanted to homeschool because I wanted my kids to have a learning and find joy in learning, so that they always craved learning, that they never shied away from learning, and that they never thought learning was a chore, or reading book was something that, you know, you just had to do. But it shouldn't be like that, right? Because you should read because you want to learn, and that you know, that feeling of wanting, craving of learning, that's why I wanted to homeschool, because I didn't want to take away that joy from their natural, you know, every baby is always, they want to learn, right? They want to crawl, they want to walk, they want to talk. So I wanted to, and I went back to that. Last year it threw us a lot of, I had a lot of different things, and my year wasn't really perfect. If you followed me from a while back, then you know that last year was my most struggle year of homeschooling, because I had to figure out myself between what I wanted, what my passion was, and how we wanted to do homeschooling, because we've changed up a lot of things. And I think that for myself, I grew. I grew to learn that what is more important to me. To me, what's important is that my kids continue to have the desire to learn. I want them to, I want them to fall in love with reading, and we've kind of acquired that, and that's one of the reasons I love Bookshark, and their curriculum fits us really well. You know, I wanted to bring the art aspect into our homeschooling, and that's why Waldorf inspired learning has worked really well for us. But can I be fully Waldorf like I want to be? No, because that's not what my kids want. What I learned by talking to my kids is that we can never really be put in a category. We're not classical, we're not Charlotte Mason, we're not Waldorf, and we're eclectic. We like a flavor of everything. So we're like, you know, like, what do you call that ice cream? 31 flavors? Ben and Jerry's? No, Baskin Robbins. Baskin Robbins. So we love flavor of everything in our homeschooling, and that's what my girls like. They love a little bit of structure, they love a little bit of fun, so they want, I guess, the best of everything. And you know what? If that's what they want, that's what they will get. That's what I will strive to give them. So, you know, I am really lucky to have known so many people with the different types of learning styles and learning methods, and I can learn and introduce some of those wonderful flavors into our homeschooling. So for 2017, we will be following a Waldorf-inspired learning, but we will also be including math worksheets and grammar worksheets, and instead of doing a main lesson, we might do 2 main lessons or divide it up into blocks. Our oldest is she loves to, she's a self-motivated, she loves structure, and she wants to make sure that she's learning and she's up to par with her, you know, age level or grade level. And if that's what she wants, then that's what she'll get, right? I don't want to hold her back. And more for handworks and playing the piano. My youngest has a lot of interest in piano, so we want to incorporate that a lot into our homeschooling. One of the things that worked really well for us this year is my youngest daughter has struggled with writing for a while, and us using the form drawing book, creative form drawing was a wonderful way for her to really get a grasp of writing. And so we want to continue the creative form drawing. The one other thing that I want to do is I want to be true to ourselves, our life, and what we like. Not the perfect picture that we sometimes see in Instagram. And that's not to say anything, because even myself, you know, when I have a poetry tea time, I try to make it this perfect picture, that so I can, you know, like I see all these really wonderful pictures shot from above and sides, and I want to make it this perfect picture. Sometimes I think it takes a little bit of the joy from my kids, and that's what I've noticed, that I try to make it so picture perfect that they kind of, I think, lose interest, and I want to do less of that. Yes, I want to share it on Instagram because I love that. I like following others, and I would love to share what works for us, but I want to be more real. I am real, but I want to be more, so I don't want to care so much about a perfect picture, more of sharing with you guys how it's working for us. So I want to do a lot of poetry tea time because that worked wonderfully for us in previous years, and it is a really good way to read books, connect with our kids, and, you know, drink some yummy tea, because I love tea, and dessert. It's a really good way to connect and read stories and read poetry. And another thing I want to do is I want to have more games in our learning. So I want to dedicate one day where we do kind of game schooling. So every subject that we're supposed to be covering, I make it into some type of a game. I want to read aloud more, not just books that are part of our curriculum, but outside books. My daughter, oldest one, is really into dragons and Dragon Master, and you know, she's getting back into the Magic Treehouse books. My youngest, she loves animals, and so she's into all these animal books. So I want to read more books that of their liking outside of our reading time, read aloud time. I need to have a balance between, I as a teacher need to feel confident in what I'm teaching, and so it kind of goes both ways. My girls need to know what works for them, but I also need to know what should work, what works for me, right? It goes both ways. So 2018, I'm really excited because I have kind of, end of 2017, I figured out a rhythm for myself for our homeschooling, and I want to make more time for my kids, make more time, bring more joy into our homeschooling. Well, are you guys excited to see all the other videos? I am. So be sure to click on the playlist below and above to make sure, and you make sure to check out all the other wonderful ladies who are making a video for you guys on what their resolution is. And you know, YouTube is a way for me to learn from others, and so I can't wait to check out those videos. I would love to hear what your resolution is or what your goal is for 2018, because you know, maybe something that you say will make me rethink, and maybe that will be part of my goal for 2018. Thank you for watching. I wish you all a very happy new year, and I hope 2018 will be full of joy, happiness, and lots of fun in your homeschooling. So here's to 2018. Happy homeschooling.